So I'm live. I am live. Yeah, guys, so it's Wednesday morning. I thought I would do a little live stream and talk about cryptocurrency and talk about some other things as well. Wanted to just catch up with you guys. So first off, I don't know, I was going to say an apology, but I've not uploaded many videos over the last few days. I wasn't feeling too good. My asthma was playing up, so I was using my inhaler more. I don't know if I've got a bug or something. Maybe that's what's flared it up. I don't know. But yesterday it was so bad. I trained in the morning, but I didn't feel good at the gym. But it was so bad that when I got home, I pretty much lay on the couch and lay in bed all day long. I had absolutely no energy to do anything. But I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things over the next few days. Get back to doing live streams. Today, I'm hoping to maybe do a proper live stream later. This is just a quick live stream on my phone, and it'll be one where I'll talk to you guys more. So you guys will steer the direction of this one. I'm not sure how long I'm going to do. Maybe 30 minutes or so, maybe longer. I don't know. But if you're watching, please do leave a comment. As I said, there's a couple of different news stories and there's a couple of different things that I want to talk about in a live stream later. I've emailed myself them. I want to touch upon the 2060 a little bit. There's an article I was reading here about it. And hopefully I can see any messages that pop through. Afternoon coffee or morning coffee? Yes, it's afternoon. It's 12:30. So as far as what's been happening on the news front, you know, I've still been checking news and things like that, but what I found is that since the bear market went into full throttle, when Bitcoin's dropped sub $4,000, there is a lot of news, but a lot of it isn't actually news. A lot of it's just speculation, and you're seeing a lot of these CEOs and a lot of other things come out, and it isn't really news. But there are legitimate news stories out there, and I will cover them later on in the other live stream. What I'd like to touch upon, and I'll talk about this later in the live stream as well, but what I'd like to touch upon is the NVIDIA 2060. I don't know if that's maybe too bright for you guys to see. Maybe if I put this down, can that show better on the screen? See that? So this one says that the leak reveals that NVIDIA's RTX 2060 gaming chipsets will be headed to laptops as well. Now, from the benchmarks that are coming out, it looks like the 2060. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. It looks like the 2060 is going to be roughly a little bit better than a 1070. So that's performance level, that's what you're looking at, maybe between a 1070 and a 1070 Ti. It says here that the RTX 2060 mobility, I don't know if that's the one for the mobile one, the mobile laptops, etc. 6 gigabytes of memory, bus speed of 1750 megahertz. Now, as far as specs go, I can take a closer look at the specs of the 2060 later, because I've seen a few articles that are suggesting that, you know, they're different. And this always happens. This always happens when a new graphics card comes out. You see a lot of people reporting what the specs are, but before they are officially released, you'll see a lot of them that are close to what the official specifications will be. But until it's officially released, it's just, I guess you could say it's speculation. But you will see a little bit of disparity between articles. But the one article that they're all is coming from the one leak. That's where most of the articles are coming from. And you can see here it's memory 6 gigabyte, core clock 960, memory bus clock 1750. And then it's got another one there. It's kind of more of the same there, memory bus clock and all that. Where's the CUDA cores? Yeah, so it's saying here that the CUDA cores will be 1920. Now, as I said, I'll talk about that more in another live stream where I've got I'm at the computer upstairs and I can show you everything. But I think the big thing about the 2060 is that if you look back to 2017, 2018, I think it's fair to say that the 1060 was arguably the best value NVIDIA GPU card as far as mining goes. It's why I bought so many of them. I did a kind of table and I looked at hash rates before I bought all my GPUs. I looked at the table, I looked at all the hash rates, and the 1060 really did hit the sweet spot as far as price to hash rate, the price of the card and the hash rate that it delivered. It was a great little card, the 1066 gigabyte. It looks like it's going to be a 2066 gigabyte as well. So yeah, so looks good. I'll need to check that out more. But as far as whether this could be the ideal mining card for 2019, perhaps, but maybe the market that we've got right now will change that altogether, and maybe the days of everyone rushing out to actually buy a GPU to mine and to build GPU rigs with multiple GPUs, maybe those days are over. I'm not sure, but as I said, it's kind of a sweet spot because a lot of people will buy the 2060 because it will be affordable and it will be more common than 2080 and 2080 Ti. So maybe because there's more of them out there, more people will be using them for mining as well. How's everyone doing anyway? Everyone is watching. How are you all doing? Now that is one important news story, and I will cover that more later on. I just want to touch upon some things on this one, do a catch up with you guys as well. Now this isn't really related to cryptocurrency. This is more of a tech issue. Have you guys been following this with what's been happening with the Huawei CFO, so the Chief Financial Officer of Huawei? It's kind of, I don't know what it's all about, but I think we're going to get a little bit of tit for tat. We're going to see a lot of Chinese companies doing the same with American financial officers and companies. I think we might see some blocks with American companies. I'm not sure if it's going to be a trade war per se, but it does seem petty what they're doing. But I don't know. Okay, let's look at this one. Right, look at this one, the Express. And what I find, I don't know if you guys are the same, but see, whenever you read what I would call mainstream media, the newspapers and the equivalent newspaper website, what I find with a lot of them is that there's very few of them that are pro cryptocurrency. What I find a lot of them do is one day they'll promote something that's very pro cryptocurrency, and then the next day they'll do a complete 180 and they'll publish something which is completely negative. It's they kind of flip flop a lot. This one here, Bitcoin comment: Bitcoin in the eye of the storm, is cryptocurrency poised to sink or soar? So I guess you could say that one is kind of sitting on the fence. But again, this goes back to what I was saying at the start of the stream. It's kind of a non-story. There's nothing really happening, and it's just someone suggesting where it's going. And you'll find that most of the stories related to Bitcoin right now aren't really founded in anything, they're not really coming from anything concrete. They're coming from someone just speculating. They will pick someone who calls himself an expert and they will ask for their opinion. Someone will say it's going to soar. Someone will say that now is the time to buy. I've seen a lot of articles like that. Other people say that if it goes down anymore, then the cryptocurrency experiment has died, and they say that you should sell now and get out. But again, all of this is speculation, and I think, what the mainstream media just now reacting to the price and all that, I think it really is a reflection of the uncertainty in the market. And I think that's why we're getting so many stories like that. And it's one of those things that kind of fuels it as well. When you're seeing all these articles talking about Bitcoin could go down to zero, there's a lot of people who perhaps aren't enthusiasts, as myself. I would consider myself a cryptocurrency enthusiast. I suspect that most people who watch my channel are. But there's a lot of people who just dabble a little bit and buy coins, and some of these articles can sway those people and can perhaps convince them to sell. But again, I just feel that a lot of these stories are kind of non-stories, if you know what I mean. As far as nothing's really changed, and that's the way I look at a lot of this. As far as the technology is the same. In fact, if you look at what's happening in the cryptocurrency market and look at the top coins out there and compare them to 6 months ago, arguably the technology is better. There's more apps coming out. There's more developments coming out and all that. And I think that if you focus on news, and I mean news and not speculative news where people are just reporting the price, if you actually focus on what's happening as far as big companies releasing things and developing things, then I think it's fair to say that you should still be fairly bullish about cryptocurrency. but it's quite funny reading the news. Like if you type in Bitcoin, all of these articles are pretty much, you know, saying the same thing. Have I new? Hold on, I just want to check something with the stream. Yeah, all of these articles are kind of saying the same thing. Ah, God, sorry guys. Coffee break there. I just want to check. The reason I want to check this, right, is because this microphone here looks like it's the same mic that I always use, but it's actually a replacement because I lost my mic the other day, and they've sent me this mic. Let me see. Right, it was echoing there. Sorry about that, guys. Right, the reason I wanted to check the audio there, I did a little test before, but I always like to check things when it's live as well. This microphone, I use this all the time, but I lost this the other week and I bought another one. I just bought a replacement right away, and the cable is much longer, which is good. But it started to make me think there. I'm like, oh, what if it's a completely different mic? It's just maybe just marketed as the same mic. Anyway, that's all good. Sorry for the feedback there. So, hi Blacklight, hi Jan. Just waiting for the bear market to end. Could be 6 to 24 months. Yeah, I think you're right there. I saw a few people talk about that as well, and saying that don't get your hopes up right now. Don't get your hopes up that the bear market is going to end in 1 month or 2 months. A lot of people are saying that, you know, the what do you call it, the ETF decision, which is coming in a month or two, that could be the start of the bull run. But then I've seen a lot of other people saying that's not going to, you know, change anything. Now these projects should show some work, complete some roadmaps. Very good point, Blacklight. I can't disagree with you more. Can't disagree with you. I can't agree with you more, sorry. Oh, one of those days. Yeah, 100% correct. And this, you know, I'm not going to lie. I think it's. I know I've always been upfront about this, but I think that I did a lot of research before I even launched my YouTube channel, and I had a good understanding of the industry. But throughout this year, on live streams and videos, etc., I've did a lot of reading for white papers. I've checked out a lot of websites, a lot of new projects, and all that. And that is probably one of the biggest problems in the industry. I would say it's so easy for any new project, any shitcoin, if you want to call it that, to just stick something unbelievable in their white paper. The problem is that the vast majority of these new projects don't follow through. Now, that's why new coins are cheaper. That's why the people that get in early in a new project make a ton of money, because they invested when it was very speculative and it was risky. But yeah, I agree with that. That's one of my pet hates. And I hate a lot of these projects that either don't follow the roadmap or they just simply change it. And I've seen that with white papers as well, where they've put out version 2, and then you check out version 2 of the white paper, and it's missing a lot of the things that were in version 1. So they've just completely removed, well, we're not going to do that. What I've seen as well is that from a development point of view, there's a lot of cryptocurrencies, and what they'll do is they will say things in the white paper like, we are going to do this, we are going to increase transactions and all that, but they don't have a working product. And this is one of the biggest problems I have. A lot of these coins are launching without any kind of working product. So they'll say that they can do things, and then when it comes to actually developing them, when it comes to developing the actual, the feature that they're trying to promote the project with, they can't do it, and then they kind of just forget about it, and they say, oh, we're going to go in a different direction. Yeah, it's one of my pet hates. And it's why when you look at a white paper, you can't look at it as fact. You can look at it as a white paper as an idea. That's all a white paper is now. A white paper is an idea. A white paper is some guys discussing things at a table, discussing things in the pub, saying, well, we could do this. We could do this. But it's important to remember that talk is cheap. Implementation is always worth more than suggestions. Certainly in the long term. In the short term, I hate to say it, but the market still works on hype. It still works on news. And if you can sell, if I put up a really good website, if I put some really cool things in a white paper, I have no doubt that could just fork some coin and make a crap of money by ripping people off and saying it's the next big thing, and then simply not deliver it. But for the first 3 months, for the 6 months, the price can still remain artificially high until, you know, people start realizing, wait a minute, this project isn't actually delivering what they say they would actually deliver. So very good point there, John. I need to remember to finish my coffee before it goes too cold. So it's quite funny. See, if you type into Bitcoin into Google News and you look through a lot of the articles. Again, this is a reflection of where we are in the market. Bitcoin bull has a stark warning. Okay, price charts indicate a glimmer of hope for corrective rally. Why popular 2018 year end of year Bitcoin price predictions? Crypto exchange lists Bitcoin Cash under original. In fact, I want to read that one. Let's read about Bitcoin Cash here. OKEX Crypto Exchange lists Bitcoin Cash ABC under original Bitcoin Cash ticker. Now, I've seen that in a few different places. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think CoinMarketCap does that as well. So instead of listing Bitcoin Cash as BCH ABC, they just have it as BCH. And if you look across different exchanges, it does seem that Bitcoin Cash ABC seems to have won that stupid civil war. What do you think of established coins like Monero and Decred? They are old but have supporters. I think that Monero is one of the best projects out there. I think it really is. I saw it was quite funny because Monero must be about maybe 4 or 5 years old now. Monero's been around quite a while now, Jan. I saw someone posting on Reddit, and someone was talking about Monero, and they basically, you know, someone asked about it, and they posted a timeline, and the timeline that they posted basically suggested that the first 3 years of the project were a nightmare, like wallets not working and the chain, you know, not working correctly, and all these different things that were wrong with the project. But then he showed you the developments. You know, it went from like 2012 or 13 all the way down, and then he showed you all the developments in the last couple of years, and it just shows you how the first few years of a project, they're really finding their feet. They're really trying to fix things. Perhaps there's a lot of problems as far as internally with regards to staff and all that, you know, when they're trying to get people, you know, bring good developers into the project. But the last few years, it talked about how it's refined and all that. I think, I need to take a step back because I like Monero. I've read the white paper, but I really do have to, you know, I said I've read the white paper. I've read it as far as I've skimmed through it. I need to sit down and read about Monero and learn more about it, and perhaps do a video about it and look at all the pros and the cons of the project. Whenever I've spoke to anyone who's knowledgeable about the project, they've always got a very good opinion of it, you know, and people that, you know, whose opinion I respect. As far as the Decred goes, I don't know too much about the Decred. I know, is the Decred not the one that developed their own ASIC miner? Am I wrong there? I might be wrong. It's very easy to get coins mixed up when you're talking to people about coins all the time. Anti-crypto environmentalists gleeful that Bitcoin is going down, etc. The next leg of the Bitcoin crash is here. Now, I don't even have to read these kind of articles, but again, all of these, see the kind of negative articles and the ones that say that Bitcoin are going to shoot up as well. Again, all these articles are really just speculative. They're not really based on anything. There's no evidence that anything is going to change now. And when you look at a lot of these articles and you actually read between the lines, whenever they're claiming a source, they're simply quoting someone in an interview. And again, it's just their opinion. And there's someone else in the industry saying the opposite. And it's important to remember that, you know, I've had discussions about this with my brother as well. My brother is a chemist, so he's like a lecturer at university. And he will, you know, I'll see some sort of chemistry thing on BBC News, for example. And I'll say, oh, what about this? And he says, it's a lot of crap. He says, no one respects that guy in the industry. And he was talking about it. And basically, what you have is with BBC and a lot of other news websites, they're not remaining impartial. What they want to do is have an agenda. They want to, you know, they have a story. They want to push a certain thing and they want to push it out. But what they will do is, if there's like 400 scientists that say, no, this is a lot of crap, this study is terrible, it doesn't prove anything, then they won't go to the 370, the 380 scientists that don't agree with it. They'll go to the 20 that say that it's true. And then they will quote them and they will portray them as an expert. And it's the same thing that's happening in the cryptocurrency world. If you want to portray cryptocurrency, the whole market, Bitcoin price, whatever you want, if you want to portray and write an article and say that the price is going to go up or the price is going to go down, it is so easy to find someone to support that agenda, because you can find people in the finance world, you can find people in the cryptocurrency world, and you can find the people that support what you're trying to do. This is one of my pet hates with news in general, is that they're trying to push you one way or the other. And I don't believe that Bitcoin is going to shoot up to 100,000. I don't believe that Bitcoin is going to shoot down to $100 either. You know, I just don't think that either of those scenarios are going to happen right now. But as I said, this is one of my main problems with all the news. They all have an agenda, and it's important to remember that, guys. It is important to remember that, because these news websites are very influential as to what's happening in the market. What they really should be doing, if they were good at their job, was writing impartial articles where they say, okay, Bitcoin price, here's 3 guys that say it should go, that, you know, the price is going to go that way. Here's 3 important people in the industry that say it's going to go the other way. They don't do that. They don't do that because that doesn't fit their agenda. It doesn't fit the article. I'm kind of going off on a tangent, guys, but to me, this is a big problem in the industry as far as a lot of these news websites, you know, that are listed, and they're listed predominantly on Google and all that, and they can push an agenda, and it's really influential on the price of a coin. And it's not just Bitcoin. There's other coins out there as well that that's susceptible to this kind of manipulation. And it's very easy. It's very easy for these articles to kind of get sucked in to a lie. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, right? I've worked on the internet for like 19 years or so, and I've launched a lot of my own blogs. And what you'll find is a lot of the top blogs on the internet, they call them top blogs. Now, the best blogs out there and the ones that are making the most money are simply what you would call content farms. They are pumping out 20, 30, 40, 50 articles per day, but the articles aren't actually good. They're short, they're like 200, 300 words, very poorly researched. They basically follow a template system, which is why, because, you know, the writers are getting paid so little and they have to churn out so much content, you will sometimes see things like insert caption here, or you'll see spelling mistakes, things that would normally get corrected and fixed when it's, you know, went through the proofreading process. And what happens is they churn the content out so much. And, you know, I've been talking about like this, you know, places like Forbes, which they're just horrific for their cryptocurrency news. But what they will do is publish 10 cryptocurrency articles per day. And sometimes they'll publish 5 positive and 5 negative, but they don't care. All they want is the traffic. All they want is the hits. All they want is people to share it on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and whatever. And it's a state. And, you know, this is a big problem in the internet world in general. But it's important to remember how much this influences cryptocurrency, because so many cryptocurrency projects, the vast majority of them, are speculative. And these, you know, the price of coins can go up or down depending on which way the news agenda is going that day. I don't know why I've went on this crazy news tangent. It is something I wanted to talk about. I'll maybe talk about it more in a dedicated video. How are you guys anyway? Blacklight agrees with me. Thank you. I see it as technology needs results to push the price, not people. Yeah, and this is one of the this is one of the problems with news websites in general, is that they have to just continue to publish news, right or wrong, you know, pros or cons. It doesn't matter if there's nothing really happening, they still have to post news. If there's nothing happening, they will just create news. And that's what a lot of this stuff is. If they've got no news to talk about, you know, one of the news stories there was the fact that one really small exchange is using BCH instead of BCH ABC. Now, I'm not saying this shouldn't be reported, but a dedicated article with 400 words about it, it's not really significant, really. It's a tweet. It's a tweet. That's a tweet. But they've expanded it into an article, a full article, because, you know, there's not much news. And that's why right now with all the news, it's all Bitcoin's going up, Bitcoin's going down, Bitcoin's going to do this, Bitcoin's going to do this. It's going, you know, buy, sell. They've got nothing to talk about, so they're just making stuff up. And I guess you know, I'm sure, you know, I'm not. I'm open to this kind of criticism as well. You know, I'm going to get the same kind of criticism that news blogs will. Why even talking about this and all that kind of stuff? You're trying to promote fear. You're trying to, you know, push the price up, all that kind of stuff. But I think there's a big difference between YouTubers like myself that are passionate about cryptocurrency and just want to share their passion and perhaps upload one video a day, two at most, that kind of thing, than a news website that consistently has to publish 20 or 30 articles per day, hundreds per week. You can see why they're scraping the barrel with news. I do actually have some things I want to talk about, and I'll show you all in a separate video or a live stream later today. There's a cryptocurrency wallet, there's the RTX 2060, and there's a few other things I want to talk about. But this live stream, I just wanted to sit and chat to you guys. So how are you all? What do you think of the current climate? What do you think of the current market? Did you agree with what I was saying the other day when I was saying, is GPU mining dead? Let me know what you think, guys. Leave a comment. I've been searching for Bitcoin here. What I'm going to do is search for cryptocurrency. It's funny as well because, you know, I wasn't well there for a few days, but I've also had to, you know, I've been doing some work on my websites, and I need to do that today, which is why I'm doing a live stream just now. I'm going to sit and, you know, write a couple of thousand words of articles for my blog. But it's funny, whenever I don't devote all my attention to my cryptocurrency channel, I get a couple of comments saying, wow, where are you? I've had quite a few videos recently, like, fair play to you for still posting videos about crypto. And I'm like, well, I was never posting videos about crypto simply because the market was good. That was never... I post about videos about cryptocurrency because I like it. I follow the news every day and I'm passionate about it. But I think a lot of people think that maybe there are some YouTubers, but a lot of YouTubers are only there to shill coins and to make money. And certainly money is something that all YouTubers have to do. But as far as only posting videos when the market is up, that's a little bit ridiculous. Right, okay, so different news stories here. Cryptocurrency exchange Gemini launches mobile trading app. I want to check that out. New rumour suggests Samsung is working on cryptocurrency. Now, this is something that I've seen brought up time and time again. I've seen a lot of news. This is going back like a year where Samsung is going to work on something in the cryptocurrency market. I reckon when Samsung come in, they're going to come into the market in a big way and they will be very influential. I don't know if they're going to come into the market as, you know, maybe they'll develop a cryptocurrency wallet, but I suggest their main product will be some sort of mining thing. Could be an ASIC miner. It could even be building cryptocurrency mining software into their existing product lines. Maybe phones, maybe fridges, maybe televisions. Maybe they'll have an option that says, would you like to mine in the background? I don't know, but Samsung are in a very good position with all the different products that they make and the fact that they develop chips and all these other things themselves. They're in a very good position to come into cryptocurrency and come in a big way. So I suspect, I'll click on the article, see what it says. Right, sorry, this pops down here. I don't think GPU mining isn't dead. Can you clarify what you mean there, Blacklight? Because that's kind of like a double negative. I don't think GPU mining isn't dead. Samsung might have a blockchain power phone or just a wallet. Well, we saw that with HTC. HTC are developing, is it the Exodus phone? I think it's the Exodus phone that HTC are developing. But it's very, very expensive for what you're getting. Frankly, I don't see the need for it because basically what you're doing is spending $1,000 on a phone that's like a year old. Why not just buy a brand new phone and then buy like a Ledger or something like that? I don't know. I mean, I realise there is a demand for a mobile phone that's also secure, etc. But I don't know. I don't know. No, it's okay. No need to apologise. It was just to clarify. My bad. GPU mining isn't dead. Oh, okay. So you're still mining yourself, Blacklight? Hey, Jonathan. Hi, Kev. You don't have any old cheap PCI Express cards for sale? Actual GPUs are you talking about, Jonathan? Or are you talking about the risers? You talking about the risers, or are you talking about the actual GPUs? The only GPU that I've got spare, I've got a 1080 Ti spare that I'm going to try and sell. If I can't sell it, it's going to come into my, it's just going to go into my PC. Hey, Dave. Hey, Crypto Dave. Yeah, so if I've got one, so basically I've got a 1080 Ti in my main PC, and I need that for streaming, for, you know, just working, Photoshop, video editing and all that. Before, at the very start of the year, I had two 1080 Ti's in there mining, and that's something I might do again. I might put another 1080 Ti in my PC. I might just use it as SLI. But to be honest, I don't really need it. I don't really, you know, and as far as the performance boost I get, you know, it's not like when you put two 1080 Ti's into your PC, you get double the performance. You're probably getting about a 30%, 40% boost. So really, I should really sell the spare 1080 Ti. That, and I'm quite conscious of the fact that, you know, I saw some deals on the 2080, etc. That the price of the 1080 Ti will go down. So maybe I have to just accept the lower price. I don't know. I'll need to have a think about it. I've not been thinking about it. But right now, my spare GPU is in a box. But I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, Jonathan, or if you were talking about... you said GT370, 2GB. Wow, that's an old card. Yeah, Ethereum. I'm from India. Cheap power. Ah, right. So you're just paying a few cents. Are you just paying... Excuse me, you're just paying a few cents per kilowatt hour. I think if you're in a market like India where the electricity is a lot cheaper, you should continue mining. You know, at the end of the day, if my electricity costs were not so high, I would still be mining. In fact, I only stopped mining. I mined too long. I started thinking about selling about May when the announcements of the Z9 came out. I thought, you know what, I should start scaling down. I should maybe, you know, buy some ASIC machines, and I didn't. But I should have. In hindsight, I should have, because when I did go to sell, the 20 series cards had been announced. A lot of other people were selling their rigs, and I probably, you know, would have been able to sell my cards a lot easier had I sold sooner. But yeah, I think I waited too long. But as I said, if I was in India, if I didn't have such high electricity costs, I imagine I'd still be able to make a little bit of money with my setup. So I'd still be the same as you, and I'd still be mining. Electricity is the biggest, you know, it's the biggest cost, and it's the biggest factor in whether you should continue mining or not, because it is the main. Once you've bought all your equipment, electricity is the main cost. Yeah, the news. I'll talk about this in a live stream later. I'll email this to myself. This is what I do actually when I sit with my phone and my tablet, and I email myself whenever I find anything interesting. Email to myself. Hey, Taurus. Crypto.com next ex-PayPal executive. So this is another big thing. Can you see that? Read that for me. I can't read that backwards because it's reflective back to fair. $1 billion worth of cryptocurrency stolen in 2018. I think, you know, if you think about what we need for a mass adoption, what we need for the industry to start moving forward, this is one of the things we really we need to start tackling. We need to start tackling the fact that people are having their funds taken. Now, a lot of that, you know, maybe some of that will come from, you know, scams. You saw the people sending money in Ethereum, and I feel bad for the people that lost their money with all these, you know, send me money, I'll send you back. I feel bad for them. I don't want anyone to lose money, but at the same time, you're like, come on, was it not obvious, you know? But what we did see a lot this year was a lot of double spend attacks. You had double spend attacks with Bitcoin Gold, I think, Zencash at one point as well. And we also saw exchanges as well, money getting stolen from exchanges. Now, again, this could be one of the factors as to why cryptocurrency, why GPU mining is perhaps not going to be as relevant in the future. But that's that's kind of that. As far as proof of work mining, the biggest risk right now is double spend attacks and all that, 51% attacks. And you've got services like NiceHash that are very influential on that, and they're being used to perform those attacks. What SafeCoin are trying to do as far as notarization goes, I think that will be very significant. Certainly if they try and help secure other people's blockchains as well. And maybe that will, put a stop to this kind of thing. But that aside, we'll discuss that later. But as far as just as an industry as a whole, we have to start looking at, this from not happening. Now, I suspect some of that, there'll be a lot of money that's stole at the one time rather than small transactions. Yeah, it actually talks about here. So it says here, a Korean exchange, CoinRail, lost over $40 million. BitThumb lost $30 million. Bancor lost $23.5 million due to a breach in a smart contract. Bitcoin Gold, 51% attack. That's what you forget sometimes. See, with as far as exchanges go, they have to really examine every single coin, and they need to make sure that the chain is secure. And a lot of exchanges got caught out with coins like Bitcoin Gold, being attacked, and the exchanges are then, the double spend attacks happen, and then people lose a lot of money. The amount of money that gets lost with things like that is insane. How is everyone anyway? What's been happening? What have you been doing in the cryptocurrency world? As I said, I will do a proper live stream later from my computer where I can show you a lot of this news and talk about things a little bit better. This was a quick kind of catch up. I'm going to be jumping to my laptop soon. I'm going to be writing for a few hours. So I just thought I would quickly jump on and do a live stream and chat to you all. It's a very lazy way of doing it. Admittedly, I've just popped my phone onto a tripod. It's a very lazy way of doing it. But I was conscious of the fact that I hadn't uploaded a video in a few days and I wanted to catch up with you all. Yeah, so I do think that's one of the biggest problems that we've got right now as far as moving forward. What's your opinion? Get this here. What's your opinion of Bitcoin futures? I did a video about this recently where I was talking about Bitcoin futures. It was part of I talked about 4 or 5 different news stories, and all the articles that talked about Bitcoin futures being added to NASDAQ, they were all talking about how Bitcoin being added as a Bitcoin future will help spur on the cryptocurrency market. It will bring in a lot more investors. But at the same time, that might be true, and it might, it might boost cryptocurrency and bring more money into the market. But again, it goes back to a lot of the problems that are associated with the financial market as far as people gambling on the price, and they're shorting things and expecting the price to go one way or the other. What's your thoughts on it, guys? It's kind of weird that they keep, a lot of these articles are talking about Bitcoin futures and cryptocurrency futures as if it's 100% a positive thing because it's bringing people in from, the financial industry. It's bringing a lot of money in. But I would rather people just bought the coin directly rather than gambling on the price of the coin. Talked to Goose a few days ago, Moondex closed shop. I'm going to have to speak to Goose today, actually. I apologise. I said last week I was going to do a live stream with Goose. 1 week ago, I was supposed to do a live stream with Goose, or last Tuesday, but I forgot I had to take my dad to the hospital for an endoscope, so I had to cancel that day. We were supposed to do it the next day, but then Goose had some work that he had to do, so we rescheduled it for this week, but we haven't arranged it yet. So I'm looking forward to getting onto his channel and chatting about a lot of different things. So I'll need to reach out to him. I'll need to chat to Goose about Moondex. I'll check it out later on. I'll check it out later on as far as what's happening with Moondex. I'll need to read about that myself. I did know a little bit about Moondex because I spoke about it with SafeCoin, because it was a coin that was added to SafeTrade recently. A coin was added to SafeTrade recently, and it was also added on Moondex, and the coin lost all their money on Moondex. So a lot of the traders came over and they started trading on SafeTrade instead. Yeah, please stop depositing coins immediately. So what was that? All right, there it's there. We've got 3 days to close. I'll maybe do a video about that later, or I'll talk about it in the live stream. I'll need to read up on that to see what it's all about. I touched upon it on Sunday when I was in the SafeCoin live in the SafeCoin team meeting. We talked about this. We talked about Moondex and the fact that they were, I think they got hacked or something. Yeah, there it's there. Actually, I'll maybe do a video about that because thanks for reminding me about that, because I didn't realize how serious it was. I just assumed they got attacked and I didn't realize they were closing down. Please notice we are running a liquidation service and a compensation scheme as best as we can. We're not providing a normal withdrawal service. Last week we had a bug with Retail Coin, which you can find the details here. It resulted in more than 4 million Retail Coins lost from our hot wallet. We have to use the BTC funds to compensate our retail users for the lost coins. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, that's sad. It's one of those things where one simple bug can close an exchange. I don't believe Moondex would ever, I don't think they did anything wrong per se. Maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong there? I think they've been caught out. Maybe they didn't examine the bug enough. Maybe they didn't check that as much. But it just shows you that with an exchange, I see this problem with a lot of exchanges. They keep adding more and more coins, especially with the newer coins. It's very, very, it's very risky because you've got all these different coins to check. I'm never happy when I see something like that anyway, because it's never good. It's never good for anyone when anyone loses money. But I don't know. I never used Moondex. I checked out their website, etc. I know it was a kind of proof of stake masternode coin. He launched a video on Moondex. Developer from UK run out of money. What do you think of MCT? I don't like MCT at all. You can go back to my previous videos to see why I didn't go on with the team. Blacklight saying Bitcoin futures won't help in the short term. Yeah, even in the long term, I'm not sure how much. I'm not sure how good it is for cryptocurrency as a whole on the long term. In the long term, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how good that is for the industry. I don't know. I've been reading a lot of these articles, and whenever they talk about Bitcoin futures, they keep saying this is good for the industry. It'll put the price of Bitcoin up. We're going to bring in a lot of investment money. But it's hard not to think back to the financial crash and see that the futures and a lot of people gambling on the market is what caused the market to crash. And I'd rather these people put their money into cryptocurrency coins like Bitcoin rather than gambling on the outcome. I don't know. I'm not a trader though. I'm not a financial trader. So as far as the pros and cons of that, I don't know. But yeah, that's sad news about Moondex. It's I mean, reading between the lines, just looking at the news article, I'll need to look into this more, but reading between the lines, it looks like they are trying to do the right thing and refund everyone. But that coin, Retail Coin, that was the one they talked about in the SafeCoin meeting the other day on Sunday, and they talked about how Retail is also on SafeTrade. I don't know what the bug was as far as, what caused it and all that. But yeah, it's disappointing. It shows you how difficult the whole market is and how hard it is to run a cryptocurrency exchange. And it's one of those things because I've got no time for scams. Hey, Nollis, guten Morgen, Mr. Morgan. I've got no time for scams. I've got no time for scams. I've got no time for pump and dump schemes and all that. But if it's a legitimate exchange getting screwed and losing a ton of money simply because of one line of code or it was a bug that they didn't find, then yeah, I've got a little bit of empathy for the guys there. It's one of those things. I mean, I've heard a lot of people saying that you really shouldn't use any small cryptocurrency exchange. You should only be going with the larger ones like Coinbase and Binance. But then again, those exchanges don't always list the coins that you want to trade. Guy doing the refunds got fired. What happened there, Jonathan? Was someone doing something with the money, trying to steal it? No, we were talking there about Moondex, the Moondex exchange. This was a Masternode coin that also had its own exchange. And there was a coin that was added recently, Rito coin. I'll do a video about this later on today, or a live stream about it or something. I'd like to talk about this more, maybe do it in a live stream. But yeah, the bug with Rito coin means that they lost more than 4 million Rito coins from the hot wallet. I don't know if as I said, I don't know what caused this. But as far as Rito goes, you know, are they taking any responsibility for this? Was any of that their fault, or was this something on Moondex's end? If it was all Moondex and Rito didn't do anything, then it's kind of unfair for Rito, because all of a sudden, I mean, that's very bad for a new coin to be associated with money being lost. So that's quite unfortunate. Yeah, the market is really hammering lots of people. And, you know, the thing with exchanges as well is they simply don't have the funds to survive something like that. You know, one coin gets exposed, one bug gets found, and lots of people steal money, and the exchange can't survive that. They can't survive because they're operating in such small margins, and because the market is so competitive. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've not been looking at that. In situations like this, there's always someone pointing the finger saying it was that person's fault, and it's hard to know what actually happened at this point. I'll do a little bit more research later on. I'll look into it. As I said, guys, I'm going to spend this afternoon doing some writing instead. But later on tonight, perhaps, or I don't know when, 5 or 6 or 7 or something, maybe 5 or 6. I'd like to do a live stream and talk about this. In fact, there's a lot of topics I'd like to talk about as far as the 2060 hardware wallets. There's a few other things I want to talk about in a live stream. It's not something I can do here properly because I'm sitting here with my tablet and my phone. I'm being very lazy. But I'll try and do a live stream later on today, guys. But thanks for letting me know, Jonathan, because I did speak about this on Sunday as far as Rito, the coin being hacked on Moondex, but I didn't realise that the exchange was being closed. I just thought it was that coin, and I didn't know how many coins had been lost. I really didn't understand the significance of it all. I'm going to have to reach out to Goose as well. So I want to reach out to Goose. I want to do a live stream with Goose, eventually get it arranged. Tomorrow, before I forget, tomorrow, stay tuned. I've got a live stream. I think I'm scheduling it for about 4 p.m. UK time, so about 4 p.m. to about 5 p.m. UK time. And as the lead developer of an Ethereum mining pool, who basically incorporate, it's quite an interesting setup. What they've got, it's called Whalesberg, and what they do is they've got a lot of different coins. It's kind of like a profit switching pool with other 8-hash coins, and then what they do is they distribute the additional profits from the other coins, and then they pay in Ethereum. And they claim that you can get up to 15%, but you know, they showed us the graphs, and some days it's only 2 or 3% more than, for example, Ethermine. But they got in touch with me and asked me to kind of check it out, and I was like, yeah, it's just a pool. And then I said, listen, why don't you jump on for an interview? So yeah, it'd be good to speak to him and kind of find out more about that project. So stay tuned for that. There'll be a live stream tomorrow. So anything else you want to talk about before I say goodbye? I need to sit my ass and write for a few hours. Chill out. Well, it's not chilling out and working, but you know what I mean. Yeah, that's sad about Moondex. But just be careful out there with any exchange, guys. Just be careful about any exchange. Even ones that you trust. Don't stick every single coin that you own for a particular coin onto the exchange. I mean, anything under a few $100s, you're fine. But if you've got, you know, thousands of dollars of a particular coin, it could be prudent to sell those coins at different exchanges. It could be prudent, you know, to sell 10%, convert to Bitcoin, withdraw the Bitcoin, then send some more coins there. Just be careful and don't put yourself in a position where if an exchange is hacked or something happens, you lose everything. And, you know, you never deposit money, you never send money thinking, I'm going to lose it. But you know, how many exchanges have been hacked, how many exchanges have lost money this year. It can happen, and it does happen. Norlis, what are you writing about today? Well, it's kind of boring. It's for my blog. Basically, I migrated last week. Again, I didn't post videos for a few days because I spent a few days working with website stuff. I migrated my blog from my dedicated server to a managed WordPress hosting service. So for me, I'm going from a very hands-on experience to, you know, kind of limited as to how it's hosted. But it's a really good service, so I'm going to do a review of it on my blog, 1,000 words or 2,000 words or so, and just kind of explain to people what it's all about. Because I thought, you know, the website's quite good. So I'm going to do a review of that and show people how it all works. I'll try and get most of it finished. Hopefully I'll get most of it finished and published today, but if not, then I'll, you know, finish it off tomorrow. Norlis, I have accounts for a few exchanges, although Coinbase and Binance are probably the only ones I use, in all honesty. Yeah, they're the biggest ones and probably the safest ones as far as reserves and all that as well. Contact the developer of Moondex if he's from the UK, probably looking for someone to take over. Yeah, I can maybe reach out to them. I mean, it'd be interesting to talk to them about that. I'll maybe try and do that then if I've got time, maybe reach out to them. Jonathan, do you know if the developer, is he still active on Discord? Is he still active? Is he still, you know, talking to the community? I'd be happy to talk to them and find out what happened. It's a bad situation, so hopefully it'd be good to give them a platform to talk to people. The migration of a blog, more painful than migration of people for Brexiteers. No, it's basically the backup service. I paid every month. I paid money for it. Oh, that's something else I need to do today as well. Damn, I forgot about that. Basically, the backup service that I used, it backed up my website every single hour, and it should have been doing a restore, and it should have been seconds to transfer my website to another server. But the backup service broke. It didn't work, which is why it took time. But when it's working, migrating a blog or a website, as long as you set it up correctly, it's pretty easy. You just have to make sure everything's working once you transfer it over. It's pretty safe. I've transferred hundreds and hundreds, perhaps even thousands of websites over the years, so I do know, you know, what to check and all that. But yeah, it's not too bad. I'll be honest, Moondex was never really on my radar. I knew about it more as a Masternode coin rather than the exchange, but not sure. But I'm sure there's a way. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'll maybe reach out to him. I'll maybe reach out and I'll see. I'll see what happens. Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know I used to be a web developer. When it comes to website development, I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none. So I've managed my own dedicated server and things like that, and you know, I know how to create websites and all that. But I'm not an expert designer. I'm not an expert developer. I just know what I need to know, and that's probably it, as much as I spend time learning. Hi, David. What do you think about solo mining? I've noticed quite a few are moving over to this. I'm not a fan of it myself. I mean, the problem with solo mining is the variance. That's the biggest problem with solo mining. And the variance can be quite a killer, depending on the size of the pool and the coin and your hash rate and all that. But there's a reason that people use pools and they collectively pull all the resources together. Personally, I would rather give the 1% to the pool to avoid all the variance. Now, obviously, if you find a block yourself and you find it quickly, you can, you know, do very well. And I know people use certain techniques to try and steal the kind of blocks and all that kind of stuff as well. But I would say, generally speaking, if you're solo mining, you might not find a block for days and then you'll find one, but then you might find 2 blocks that day and then you might not find another block for weeks. I'm kind of generalizing here. It will depend on the coin and the hash rate and all that, but I'd prefer to use a pool so that I know consistently I'm getting this amount of coins per day. Certainly in this market where, you know, getting low variance one day could be the difference between running at a loss or running at profit. But it's not black or white. If you're solo mining and you've got a significant amount of hash rate yourself with your setup, in comparison to the actual hash rate of the whole project of the network, then maybe it's worthwhile. But generally speaking, if I was mining something like Ethereum or something like that, I would use a pool. Moondex suggests they could do a crowd mine to raise funds, shareholders. It seems like they weren't prepared for something like this happening, but yeah. They used to do CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. Oh, okay. Well, see, like with that kind of stuff, no, this goes back to what I was saying. I was like, where I'm a jack of all trades, and that I used to have about 40 different web development books behind me when I did videos, well, sitting next to my computer. I gave them all to a charity shop, and they didn't even say thanks. But yeah, I had all these old developer books, and I used them as references. But I found I was just checking the reference online. And I know enough CSS to change things. I know HTML really well, actually. That's the one thing I do know quite well. But as far as PHP and development, you know, JavaScript and things, that I just kind of copy and paste and change things when I need them. So I know enough to kind of change things, but I'm not a developer. Many of these exchange hacks seem like an inside job. You can never rule it out. Sad to say, but you can never rule it out. Yeah. It's hard to prove in these kind of situations as well. Solo mining, find a block and the block reward is all yourself, but it might take months to find one. Agreed. Charity shops where charity begins with the CEO earning $250,000 per annum. Yeah, don't get me started on that. Yeah, I think some people working in charities are making a ridiculous amount of money. The last time I gave all my books away to a charity shop the other year, well, a couple of years ago now, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I must have gave them couple of hundred, like it was about 6 or 7 boxes. I'd spent thousands on those books. Some of them are very expensive books, and I brought them in and said, oh, where do you put the books? And she just went, over there. And it's not like I was doing it for the pat in the back, but at the same time, I didn't get a pat in the back. She didn't even smile at me, and she just went, over there. And I was like, you know what, I could have just sold these on eBay if I wanted to, but I didn't. And I was trying to do a nice thing, and the women didn't even smile at me, and I'm like, you know, I know it shouldn't be like that. I know you should, you know, give to charity for the pat in the back and all that, but the charity shop thing is a big scam. Yeah, it's kind of, there's quite a lot of them where I live. Yeah, well, that's the problem with a lot of charity shops, is that they just, you know, people are just giving stuff that they can't give away. That's kind of, I guess, one of the main problems of it. Yeah, I'm the same. I do give away a lot of stuff to my friends as far as tech stuff. I've been sent things like earphones in the past, and I've just given them to friends, and speakers and things like that. A company said, oh, do you want to test this for your YouTube channel? So I've tested it, and then I'm like, well, I've got a speaker, and I've just given it to my brother or one of my friends. Free cycle. Oh, I've never checked that out. Right, guys, I'm going to have to actually go out and do some work, some real work. I can't sit and talk to all my crypto buddies all day long. There's a lot of things to actually talk about, and you know, I was quite lazy. I switched on my phone and I started talking because I thought I'd be doing like a 20-minute, 15, 20, 30-minute live stream. It's still an hour now. It's kind of hard to show you a lot of things with the tablet here. It just doesn't work. I'd like to do a live stream later. I'd like to talk more about Moondex. I'd like to talk about the 2060. I'd like to talk about some cryptocurrency hardware wallets. I'll try and reach out to the developer of Moondex. I'd like to hear his opinion on this. I'm not sure if he wants to talk to me though. I suspect this guy's got a lot on his plate, but I can reach out to them on Twitter or Discord or something. And I'll try and send them a message and say, get in touch if you want to talk. But thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. I'm going to, as I said, I've got a live stream tomorrow. I'm going to be talking to Whalesberg. That'll be an interesting video as far as the guy's quite technical. I spoke to the guy yesterday. In a video because I was kind of upfront with him. I was like, listen, can I talk to you in a video first? And the reason I said, listen, the reason I'm saying this is because the profit switching, the numbers you're claiming, it sounds quite spammy. It sounds like it's a lie. I was quite up. I was like, listen, I want to clarify that this isn't a scam because I don't want to bring on anyone in an interview if I think it's a scam. And then he explained how it worked, and I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. So I'm looking forward to talking about that tomorrow. It's always good to talk to someone from the technical side of a mining pool and what they have to do to run, because mining pool margins are quite thin. So yeah, it'll be good to do a live stream with those guys tomorrow. But I'm hoping to do a live stream later today, guys. So most of you who are watching probably have the little subscribe icon with YouTube, so you will be notified. But I'm probably talking about 6, maybe o'clock, maybe around that kind of time, 5, 6 or 7 or something. We'll do a live stream There's a lot of things I want to talk about. Nonetheless, have a good afternoon. We'll look forward to the stream, assuming I haven't been roped into some short notice work. Yeah, it sounds like everything you get is last minute. Thanks, Blacklight. Thanks, David. I appreciate the kind words. So I'll do a live stream later. Hopefully we'll get some more people on. I'll be on my computer. I can look at things a little bit more closely. Thanks for tuning in. Always misspeak when you do it live. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Later at May Day in London. Thanks, Torres. So yeah, tune in later, guys. I'm going to try and do some more live streams. I'll try and do some more live streams more often. I want to get in the habit where I do at least a mobile live stream and I catch up with people. It's not the best format for every situation though, because I can't show you things. I can just show you my stupid face. So until then, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to end it at that, guys, and I'll maybe see you all later on. Thumbs up. I'm looking over there. The camera's there. Cheers, guys. I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers.